Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show, getting ready for Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers from the Cleveland Browns, one of the best in the business, fresh off his 106-yard performance against the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1 of the 1-0 Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb back here on the program. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How did that? How's that win sitting there in Cleveland over the last couple days, Nick?
Yeah, it definitely felt good. Get the home opener and win against a division rival. But as it goes in a professional, we got to keep moving forward.
So one at a time, and the Steelers truly need this one, Nick. Right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, but that's how it is. I remember last year we had a loss to the Jets, and then we had Steelers Thursday night next week, and we ended up winning. So I'm sure that's the same mindset too. Get that bad taste out their mouth.
How is it different this year already, Nick? Forget the win. How are things different this year from last, for instance?
It's just the energy around the building. I would say, we're definitely a tighter group. The chemistry's there. The sun's rolling. I feel like we got closer just over the last couple of years, and everyone's playing for each other.
So, and offensively, what do you think you saw from yourself on tape, or from your offense on tape, that can be improved based off of last week, Nick?
I think the weather definitely played a factor into the game. We weren't able to throw the ball as well as we wanted to. I think we can definitely, our passing game is definitely something that's going to be a big part of our offense this year, and I think we'll have a better chance moving forward of showing that.
The challenges that the Steelers face for you are what?
Just how big and physical they always are up front, and they all play hard. Machines. This is a great team overall. Every year it's a challenge for us. I don't think that'll change this year.
Nick Chubb here on the Rich Eisen Show from the Cleveland Browns. Look, I wanted to talk to you not just because of how good you are, but I wanted to talk to a running back in the NFL who's actually paid what he's worth. It's been so rare for me to do that, Nick. What are your 2 cents on the subject matter of the running back market, Nick?
Yeah, I would just say, it's a tough spot that we're in. The NFL definitely has leverage over us in that aspect because they can just, pretty much grab any running back they want. I think the biggest thing is just for us just to find a way to stand out, find a way to be different, which honestly I think we have, but it's just a bad spot for us to be in right now. So
were you on that Zoom a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I was.
What was it like?
It was just everyone just kind of, telling how they felt about the situation, what was going on at their teams, what was going on with their contract negotiations, and we pretty much said the same thing. Teams just aren't budging, and they're standing strong with the offers they have for us right now. Do you feel that every yard you gain might be held against you once you do go back for another contract, Nick? Oh, 100%. We're in a position where if our production hurts us, if we do have a great game or a great season with a lot of yards, a lot of touches, that will be used, against us because we're, worn down or had too many carries. Nick Chubb is here on the Rich Eisen Show. What does it mean to you to have Jim Brown's patch on as you're running for the Cleveland Browns, Nick? Yeah, it's definitely special. Also being a running back here, I've got to meet Jim Brown, learn about him, watch his tape, learn about his history. It's special, and it's definitely a privilege for us to, for me to come after such a great running back and be able to, follow his footsteps. All right, give me a good Jim Brown story. Where did you first meet him, or what did he tell you that sticks in your brain as you go out and run for the Cleveland Browns? What do you got for me, Nick? What do you have? And I don't really have anything that he actually told me, but I do have a story. It was my rookie year, first time coming to Cleveland, and at that point I didn't know much about the history of Cleveland or the city or anything. And the first thing that Hugh Jackson, the head coach at the time, said was, first things first, before you learn anything else, Jim Brown's the greatest Brown to ever play here. Mm-hmm. From that point on, I've seen why he said that, just how everyone talks about him, how much he changed, the world outside of football and all that. He's definitely the greatest Brown ever. Well, I just remember the first time I met him, Nick, was 20 years ago when I was first hosting NFL Total Access on NFL Network. And, he was going to be interviewed after our live show. He thought that he was going to be interviewed during the live show. And during a commercial break, he comes out of the green room and he comes and he finds me and he goes, "When are you going to come and get me?"
And I'm like,
sounds about right.
oh my God, that's Jim Brown. Like, not only am I meeting him, but he's angry with me.
That'd be a scary sight.
And it looked like he could give me a few snaps right then and there. And he was about 70 or 60, like in his late 60s at the time.
Yeah.
You know? And so you were just sitting down with him? Was he in Cleveland in the locker room or something when you met with him, Nick?
Oh, yeah. I met him around here in Cleveland plenty of times. We never really had that one-on-one talk.
Sure. I got you.
Definitely met him a lot.
Nick Chubb here on the Rich Eisen Show. So I imagine, do you have a crossover move like Myles Garrett, Nick?
I don't think I do. You know, basketball's never one of my specialties.
Never. Okay.
Never.
Because I imagine if you did that, you'd be called for illegal motion, right? Like he can't be, right?
I'm sure that's definitely illegal for us to move that much.
Yeah, that would be a 5-yard penalty.
Snap.
Yeah, pre-snap. That's a pre-snap penalty if you do that.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Did you see that live when he did that, or have you seen it on film?
I didn't see it live. I saw it on Twitter over the last couple of days, and it was just funny how he was doing that in front of him, but then he used the move live when the play snapped and still got around him.
Well, I guess it's a good thing he doesn't have a fadeaway jumper because that would be bad if you're rushing the passer, right, Nick?
Yeah, it would.
What's it like to watch him work?
It's amazing. You know, Myles is Myles. You know, he works hard, and he definitely takes what he does in this building every day, working hard, taking care of his body, and he uses it on the field, and it's an advantage for him and for us.
Nick Chubb here. A few more minutes left with the Cleveland Browns running back right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So let's just jump into it. What are your goals this year? 100 yards already in. What do you have for me? Personal goals for you, Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I really don't have personal goals. You know, I take it one day at a time. You know, all the work I do in the off season and all the work I do here, it puts me in position to set new goals. But personally, I don't put my mind on it. Now, you know, I used to be superstitious, but that only makes it harder for you. So I just put the work in, and I know I'll be where I need to be at the end of the day.
What do you mean? You used to write down goals and then you stopped? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I did, and then if I didn't get the goal, and then it's like, you know, I'm looking at what I did wrong, even though I did everything right. So I think it's not. Personally, I don't believe in writing down goals for that reason.
Okay. So then the conversation around your team is what? Do you guys openly talk Super Bowl, Nick?
Well, I don't have personal goals. You know, team goals are different.
Yes, right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, of course, it goes without need to be said, I guess. You know, everyone knows what we're doing this for. It's no secret. You know, we put the work in every day, you know, to come out at the very end on top.
Okay. And I guess, you know, you're one of the few Bulldogs that don't play for the Philadelphia Eagles, too, Nick.
Yeah, I know, right?
What do you think of all that, how the Eagles keep on getting Georgia Bulldogs?
I love it. I mean, I got a chance to play against them during practice, and it was just nice to see all those guys still together and see some familiar faces. And, you know, I'm jealous. I don't have many dogs here with me.
None? Well, I mean, the dog pound, right, Nick?
Oh, I got the dog pound. I don't have any Georgia Bulldogs here.
Understood. Yeah, no Uggas, no nothing like that, but you just have people wearing Ugga masks, basically.
Yeah,
you know.
Pretty much.
Okay, very good. Look, I appreciate the time here, Nick. Greatly appreciate, you know, the way that you run the football. And again, I not only wanted to have this conversation so I could speak to somebody who's paid properly at the running back position or what they feel is valued. And then also I wanted to speak to one of the elves, you know.
Yeah, that was funny.
How did that Ja'Marr Chase comment land in your locker room, Nick?
Yeah, I don't read much into that. I knew our defense would. I knew that they would take care of it for us.
Right, but I mean, he said it after. He said that they were beaten by a bunch of elves.
Oh yeah. I didn't really see that. So
you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he said that, Nick. You didn't know that? That he said after the game we got beaten by a bunch of elves? Is what he said?
Yeah, I didn't see that. That's funny though. You know, I guess at some point you got to just let it go. Yeah, that's funny.
So you see the humor in it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I see the humor in it.
Okay. Sure. Well, guess what? You're going to hear about it before Week 18 when you see him again.
Yeah,
that he said...
right. I'm sure.
Okay. Okay, Nick. Good luck against the Steelers when you're getting ready for Monday Night Football and you're in Pittsburgh and you know what this means. You know what this means, okay? You've been around Cleveland enough to know that this team from Western PA is not very liked in that neck of the woods. So what's going to be going through your mind as you're in that tunnel prior to Monday Night Football, Nick Chubb?
Biggest thing is that, going to the game, I understand how bad, this game means to them, how much they need to win this game. And so that's in the back of my mind, the back of all of our minds, that we got to push harder. We got to understand we're going up against a hungry team, with the back against the wall, and they're going to do whatever it takes to win. So I think the biggest thing for us is to match that, and match it more. And
then emerge 2-0 in division after 2 weeks of the season.
Sure, that'd be nice. That's the goal.
Nick Chubb, thanks for the time. Good luck, and always appreciate watching you run. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
You got it. That's Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns, the all-pro running back right here prior to Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.